This is the closest you're likely to get to crossing that vast threshold of time, planting your feet firmly in Roman Britain. What you're about to see are the foundations of a family home brought back to life. You'll see it grow from its modest beginnings as a working farm to an impressive country house. It's time to turn back the clock to when Britain was merely a frontier outpost of a vast empire ruled from faraway Rome. Britannia AD 100, a Roman province policed in the north, settled and flourishing in the south. Welcome to the Darrant Valley in Kent. This region had the highest density of Mediterranean-style villa estates in the whole of the country. But what was Lullingstone Roman villa like? Who were the people that lived here? Were they settlers from abroad, or were they native Britons who adapted to Roman rule? Over 300 years at Lullingstone, did their identity change? To give you an idea of its scale, let's fast forward to when the villa was at its peak in the 4th century. Notice how it stands on a low terrace cut back into the hillside. Behind it is a family tomb. Farming estates like this one could cover as much as 500 acres. Look at the size of the granary in relation to the house. It suggests we are looking at a highly productive farm, close to the road networks and the River Darrant. The river carried barges transporting its plentiful yield of corn and perhaps fruit, vegetables and meat to be traded downriver, maybe even as far as London. Now let's return to Lullingstone's roots and chart its rise from humble homestead to luxury estate. We are actually standing at the rear of the excavated villa, and this plan shows it at its peak. However, when it was first built, it was a much less grand affair. Let's move round from our present view to see the villa from the front. Lullingstone is a typical villa of the period. It features a central block of rooms, linked by a corridor at the rear and fronted by a veranda. Intriguingly, under the north wing there is a deep cellar. Between the years AD 150 and AD 200, the villa begins to grow. There are new baths in the south wing, more rooms to the north, and a separate kitchen block behind the house. Now here's something very unusual. This is no longer a basic villa. See how the original cellar can now be entered from the outside? This suggests a communal entrance, probably shared with others known to the family. Was there some kind of worship practiced here? The Romans worshipped many gods influenced by cultures throughout their empire. Perhaps this was a shrine to water spirits. Today, this room is known as the cult room. As to what a Roman did with his leisure time, well, that's quite another matter. Just as we enjoy a sauna or hot tub today, the Romans also found time to unwind. But we'll take our leave as the villa is about to change yet again. We're now on the threshold of a golden age in Roman Britain, peace and prosperity. And the owner of our villa is also doing well. The baths get a makeover with a new large plunge pool. There is the introduction of underfloor heating in the new north wing, a real sign of luxury. The veranda is extended. A family tomb is erected on the terrace behind, and a large new granary is built by the river. But there's more to come. In the later 4th century, the villa evolved again into its final and most impressive form. Notice how the main reception room has been extended into the former corridor. This is where the wealthy owner would entertain guests. Everything was designed for maximum impact. Guests were seated on the plain tiles to be wowed by the ambitious spectacle of colour spread out on the ground before them. The floor mosaic. No luxury villa was complete without one, and having paid a small fortune, you took every opportunity to ensure your dinner guests admired your good taste, sophistication, and wealth. The scene is taken from Greek mythology. It relates how the Prince of Corinth, Bellerophon, was set the task of slaying the fire-breathing she-monster, the Chimera. Is the master of the house parading his literary knowledge? Or is he using an allegory of the triumph of good over evil to tell his guests something else? The answer may be only a few steps away. Directly over the pagan shrine, a new room has been created for a faith which would profoundly change society forever. Here, in the new house church, is some of the earliest evidence of Christianity ever found in Britain. The Chi Rho, symbolizing Christ, and these surviving fragments of wall paintings showing Christians at prayer suggest early Christian worship. This is what makes Lullingstone special. But it comes with a puzzle. There is possible evidence of continuing pagan worship in the former cult room. Perhaps some family members still cling to the old beliefs. After all, the Romans had a habit of adopting customs from a variety of religious cultures. Maybe they were hedging their bets to preserve the family's good fortunes. But sadly, this didn't help Lullingstone. As storm clouds gathered across Europe, the Empire had more pressing needs for its armies than policing the farms, bringing us ever closer to our ancestors.